Hi, Otto here for Bavarian Autosport. In this series of videos, we're going to be performing fluid changes in the various undercar gearboxes. This includes the manual transmission, the rear differential, the front differential on four-wheel drive models, the four-wheel drive transfer case, the transaxle assembly used on the front-wheel drive minis, and we'll do an undercar oil change for both vehicles with and without dipsticks. Now we'll be using these various tools and fluids throughout this series, and we'll get more detail on that shortly. In this video, we'll be changing the fluid in a four-wheel drive transfer case applicable to both BMWs and Minis. We'll be doing the change specifically on a BMW four-wheel drive. Now the first thing we have is our fluids. We have the Dexron 3 synthetic from Redline, which is applicable to most earlier transfer cases. And we have the BMW specific fluid, which is applicable to most later transfer cases. Our online store will tell you which is correct for your model. We also have our tools for removing and installing the drain plugs and the fill plugs. We'll be installing a magnetic drain plug. And in most cases in draining, when there's a drain plug, no problem, you just remove the drain plug, the fluid comes out. If there is no drain plug, we have to remove the fluid through the fill plug. We'll need this special tool that goes into the fill plug and attaches to one of our fluid suction devices to remove the fluid through the fill plug. That will be used with either the 1.5 liter fluid transfer pump, and it's set up to hook on right here on the end of this, or it can be used with the vacuum oil change pump. Now in putting the fluid back in, we can use any of these fluid transfer devices. The very basic 1/2 liter fluid transfer tool, the premium 1.5 liter fluid transfer tool that has a check valve here, and the metal nipple down here for use with tools such as this. Now we like the power fill best. This simply, we put our fluid into the canister, pump it up to 15 to 20 foot-pounds, put the wand into the fill hole, and open the valve, and the fluid will automatically fill until full. We shut the valve off, remove the tool, we're all set. This works extremely well. All of this is available in our online store at bavauto.com. Now let's go ahead and get this job underway. Here's the transfer case with the front drive shaft, and here's the rear drive shaft. The transfer case on a four-wheel drive BMW is mounted directly behind the transmission. Here's the drain plug and the fill plug. These plugs can be removed with a socket and ratchet or a box end wrench. The drain plug can often be removed using the 17mm box end on the special drain plug wrench. We suggest that you always loosen the fill plug before removing the drain plug. This will prevent the inconvenient circumstance of draining the fluid, then finding that the fill plug is seized and will not readily come out. Loosen the drain plug. Position the drain pan below the drain plug. Be sure that the plugs are removed from the drain pan catch basin. Unscrew and remove the drain plug. Once the fluid is drained, install the drain plug. We highly recommend replacing the stock drain plug with the Dimple neodymium stainless steel magnetic drain plug. These Super Duty magnetic plugs will capture and hold the minute wear particles so they do not circulate through the gears and bearings. Use the box end wrench to tighten the drain plug. We'll now remove the fill plug. With the plug removed, we'll insert the power filler tube here. Make sure the valve on the Power Refill Pro filler tube is closed and pump the unit to about 15 to 20 psi using the hand pump or a Schrader valve. Insert the filler tube into the fill hole and open the valve to begin filling. Fill until fresh fluid overruns and begins flowing from the fill tube. Close the flow valve and remove the filler tube. Install the fill plug using a fresh seal ring and tighten the plug. Here we have the transfer case on a late model BMW E93 series. As you can see, the fill plug on this model is obstructed by the mount assembly. We certainly do want to change the fluid at regular intervals, so we'll perform the extra work of removing the obstructions. We first need to remove any splash shields that may be covering the parts we're working with. This shield is covering the left side of the T-case mounting bolts. Remove the fasteners securing the shield and remove it. We can now access all of the mounting bolts. Note that the heat shield is secured to the mount as well. Remove these fasteners and gently bend the heat shield to allow the mount to be pulled down. Place a jack under the transfer case. Be sure the lift pad is large enough to distribute the load, or place a wood block between the jack pad and the T-case. Adjust the jack to put a light upward lift on the T-case. Remove the bolts securing the mounting bracket to the chassis. The mount bracket is secured to the T-case mount bushing using one long through bolt. Loosen and remove the through bolt nut. Once the nut is removed, the bolt still cannot be removed due to interference with the exhaust piping. We'll remove this pipe hanger bracket to allow us to move the T-case so we can extract the through bolt. Remove the two bracket mounting bolts. Loosen or remove the pipe hanger clamping bolt. Lower the T-case slightly so that the mount bracket is free from the chassis. Angle the bolt upward and pull it rearward above the exhaust piping to fully remove it. We can now remove the mount bracket. Now we have clear access to the fill plug. Use the Power Fill Pro fluid transfer pump to perform the fluid refill. Once the refill is complete, reinstall the mount bracket and through bolt, raise the T-case and mount into position against the chassis, install the mount bolts, install the through bolt nut, and finally reassemble the mount and pipe hanger assembly. Finish by installing any shields that were disassembled or removed. All of the parts and tools you've seen in this video are available in our online store at bavauto.com, or you can call our advisors at 800-535-2002. Be sure to watch all of the videos in this undercar fluid change DIY series. You can view them on our YouTube channel. Please, if you like what you've seen, hit your like button and send us some comments as well. And don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. You can also like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter and Instagram. Now with that, we thank you for watching, and we're off to create another video.